Welcome to The Fountain with Ellie Thomas. The fountain is an image that I use in my work often to speak of our multidimensionality, to connect with the life, the living water flowing within us through mind, body, spirit, heart, and all. This show is a place where we explore it all, where we tap into wisdom that has surfaced through pain and joy and the fullness of our journeys. This podcast is a place to come and remember, to sink back into the living water that flows within you and to be guided back to your fountain, your fullness, your wholeness, and how to be with that as we navigate living as divine humans in this wild, wild world and this wild, wild journey. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in together and be refreshed and consoled by the water that wants to flow through. Welcome to the Fountain Podcast. My name is Ellie Thomas. I am so glad you're here. I'm happy to be here myself. The creation of this show has been amidst my life and part of my life for the past 5 or more months, and every month has brought new understanding of what it's meant to be. At the beginning, I thought this was supposed to be a purely grief-focused show, and as I've continued in my process, that just hasn't felt quite resonant, and I've been playing around with what it is supposed to be, and in these past few weeks, it's been clarified, and I'm so happy to feel into the energy of the fountain, which is such a clear and essential image that comes with my work in Ellie Flow land. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. But for now, I'd like to begin with inviting you to join me in a few deep breaths and just coming present with wherever you are in this moment as you're listening. You can keep your eyes open if you're moving or driving. If you want to pause and take a moment to close your eyes, I'm going to do that. Do whatever feels right for you right now. And let's just take some deep breaths. Breathing in at a pace and a depth that feels natural to your body, not needing to force anything. Noticing the pockets in your abdomen and your heart space and your back, even your throat that open up as you breathe in and let air in. And with each exhale, just inviting anything that's ready to be released today, any energy or thoughts, any place where you're kind of bound up that's ready to be released, ready to be let go of, to just leave and find its way back to where it came. One more breath when you're ready. This is so special. For those of you that have never met with me or interacted with me before, I have so much trouble putting perfect words to who I am and what I do. My name is obviously Ellie. I am the creator and the founder of Ellie Flow, which is a platform where I share all things transformation and where I guide people and meet people in the threshold of their deepest transformations and shifts that are calling them internally and potentially already underway internally, but where they're being kind of siphoned in and ready to make change to step into more of themselves as they simultaneously let go of ways of life and being that really were never them and no longer fit in who they're becoming. And this work takes on so many forms and shapes, everything from coaching-like guidance and offering vision and perspective shifts to beautiful energy guidance, meditation, really deep soul connection. This work really has shown me in the past couple months how it's not about transformation for transformation's sake. It's about allowing yourself to open to and reconvene with the soul and to live in a soul embodied state, which to me is not static. It's like a dance. It's a flow. Just like the water pouring from a fountain, it moves from different tiers and different places. It reflects different light and images. It may be different temperatures. It's ever moving. But the message really in the depth of all that is offered here and all that will be offered through the Fountain podcast, and also all that's offered in everything I set out to share and do, is the recalibration of our lives, our bodies, our hearts, our minds to the soul path. And usually people have been walking, when they come to me, the path that is their soul path, but they've also been mired in a lot of conditioning, a lot of shoulds, a lot of ways of living that don't really feel right in their body and being. They can feel the dissonance with who they are. And there's this calling back to the soul that takes place. I like to say that what opens us to these moments are broken open experiences, or experiences that break us open. There's these moments that, whether they be through choice or not through choice, whether it be something that we're looking for or that just we happen to be kind of amidst, they're moments that really pull off the layers of how we had seen and lived life before and show us that there's equally more. And at the same time, we have to go through a process of stripping away to be able to feel into and see more. And that's a whole process. And the fountain, for me, the imagery really represents the heart, represents the flow of the soul energy that can be moving through us, the different layers and spaces of our bodies and energies, our minds, our spiritual beings. And this flow of our heart energy that moves through, that I personally believe dances with God and moves with God and receives from God. And it pours out of us when we're open and able. And when I first received the imagery of the fountain, I was not pouring anything out of my fountain, or there was nothing pouring. I guess I don't really actively pour anything out, but there was nothing pouring out of my fountain. The imagery that came when I first received the words of Ellie Flow was, this is a re-turning on of your inner pipes. I saw this just divine hand reaching in and cleaning out the gunk of my inner channels, cleaning out the blocks, readjusting what needed to be readjusted so that as the hand began to turn on the knob of water, I could receive first for myself and then allow the fresh water that wanted to be poured through to hit and travel through each layer of my fountain. And I believe we all have a fountain. I believe we all have our form of flow. It's fascinating how the words flow and fountain come up all the time in client sessions, often from my client, often unknowingly. They don't even think about it and don't necessarily know the significance and the relationship to what I do or the images that I've received. And they say when they touch into this place of kind of soul flow, of heart flow, of feeling all of themselves moving together, and they see the offering and the way of moving through the world that comes from that, they say, yeah, it's like a fountain. And so the Fountain Podcast is a place to, first of all, share and allow the water that flows through my fountain to spill out to you in offering and in support of deep transformation on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical level. I love all things transformation, observing it, noticing its phases and its natural ways that move through us. And I have learned so much already in my life, but especially in the past 4 or 5 years, that doesn't feel good to hold in anymore. It wants to flow out to you. And through these messages and through what pours through, my prayer and my hope and my desire is that you receive it as nourishment, as guidance, as the tiny little droplets of water that you're needing to reconnect with your fountain. I pray that these messages reach you with a frequency, with an energy that just hits right in the heart. They're meant to be raw. They will be raw, living from the heart and allowing myself to occupy the fullness of my fountain and allowing this fresh water to flow through the fullness of the fountain, to me means every part of me in my raw process, my messiness, gets to be part of the goodness that flows here. And I invite every time you listen to one of the episodes, every part of you here now. Grief will be intertwined in many messages that I share, many episodes. I have some really great wisdom that I recorded to share around grief when I thought that that was the focus of this show. And I will continue to share that with you because it was really great. But it feels even better now knowing that it will just be a facet, a tier of the fountain. As I connect with people, as they kind of arrive to this threshold of deep inner shifts and of rediscovery of who they are, of rediscovery of the soul, of realignment, of recalibration to this deeply soul-filled way of living and being, and then the exploration of how and where that guides them. I also tend the threshold in that place as I accompany people here of everything. Inner life, inner death, outer life, seeing and being part of death all around us, the grief that comes along with that, the pain, and then as we allow space for it, the alchemy that happens as we feel it, the rebirth that happens in the process of transformation that is oftentimes much slower of a journey than we could think it might be at the beginning and that we want it to be. But then the energy and the creativity that is offered to us as we attune to the process. The wisdom that we come into contact with within ourselves and receive by just being open to every part of us. I love the imagery of a fountain because not only does the water spill out, it is a place where you can walk up to it and see reflection of yourself in the pool at the bottom. You can see coins and treasure at the bottom. You can see reflection of rainbows and colors and things beyond this moment and this dimension. You can receive water if that's what you need to drink or to wash your face. You can bathe. There is deep, deep restoration in the fountain. You can also play. Take off your socks and shoes and all your clothes and just get silly. The birds enjoy the fountain, the animals drink from it, the sun and the rain all interact with it. The wind blows leaves into it or shifts the way the water falls or sprays. It is a place of so much opportunity, interaction, and nourishment. A place to really fully live, where you can be welcomed in your highest moments of joy and creativity and artistry, and where you will be fully received in your lowest moments of pain and feeling lost. And you won't be alone. You will be held. There's so much ready to pour out of this fountain, and I'm really excited to offer it to you. I'd love to hear from you as you sit with the reflections and the wisdom and the ideas and the knowings that pour through as you feel the opening in your heart, any and all of it. This is a place for sharing. It is communal. The fountain is not private. I have this image of, through this podcast, letting my fountain be in the park. And as each of you listen to the episodes and connect with your own fountains and begin to see and feel them and notice what they look like and feel like and what the water that travels through you is like and when it activates, that just around the park, all of these hundreds and thousands of fountains pop up. And it's like exponential offering. Everyone slightly different, everyone slightly differently shaped, offering different things and different water, all deeply nourishing. How cool is that to walk into a park where there's just thousands of fountains everywhere and to just dance between all of them? There's the ones where there's a party happening and the ones where there's, a deep cleansing and clearing happening. So may we journey forward together, fountain to fountain, heart to heart. May these messages reach you and arrive to you just filled with an infusion of love and of awakening to all of yourself, and with the invitation to allow all of yourself to be here. I will be back very soon with the next episode. Please share any thoughts that you have along the way. If you would like more information about working together, visit ellieflow.com and let's play. Let's soak in this water together. Let's receive and let's allow the restoration that is to come through this beautiful new space to guide us in the next steps forward. Thank you so much for listening to The Fountain. Please take a moment to rate and review the show and to send it along to a friend that comes to heart or mind. I'd also love to hear what came up for you and your experience listening to the most recent episodes. So reach out via your podcast app or send me an email. And if you'd like to book your first session or explore working together more, find me at ellieflow.com.